Misconceptions of customer service. This is Vanessa's rant, and I'm going to talk about some misconceptions of customer service. So, I was reading this. I just want to let you know before I get into this that these are all my opinions and do not reflect the opinions of anyone else that is associated with me in business, personal, or spiritual. This is me venting. This is a way I release tension and anger and frustration by talking to you. So, I read this article, which was super awesome, and somebody else referred it to me about misconceptions on customer service. They had 5 in their article. I've moved it up to 8 because I felt that they were super important and needed to be added. Most of them are caused by because no one wants to listen and know that they're wrong. Everybody wants to always be right, but you're not always right. So we're going to move forward and we're going to count down. Number 8, technical difficulties are just an excuse so that we don't have to admit that we screwed up. That's a 50-50. 50% of the time, yes. If we don't have an answer and there's no answer available, the easiest one to make up to give to you is technical difficulties. More oftentimes than not, though, there is a technical difficulty, especially if you work for a large company, or you're calling a large company, or you're going into a large company. They have large networks and servers and a lot of people, and one simple mishap can mess up the whole thing. Now everybody else is dealing with that same particular issue. So when we say that there is a technical issue, it's up in the air. Who knows what it could be? But guess what? Either way, we're not going to be able to help you with your issue. So don't get mad. Don't get upset. Just call back. When we tell you to call back in 2 to 3 hours, call back in 2 to 3 hours, and we'll have the answer for you. Number 7, they're bad at their job if they don't answer your question. This one is hilarious to me just because of the fact that more oftentimes than not, you're probably asking the wrong department. A lot of times you'll have people who will get a bill and they'll call about billing and they want to talk about it in customer service. Well, we don't help you with billing. We help you with services. So don't get mad when I can't help you with your particular issue because you don't know how to listen or comprehend the words that are coming through the automated system, or you're impatient and you just want to push buttons, or when you're walking into the building you don't want to read any signs. You want to come into a particular department and ask about stuff that's done in another department. Don't get mad at me when I tell you that I can't help you. It's probably because you did not read. Sorry to say, but we learned this in elementary school for a reason. I know there are some things that we do learn in school that are really not relevant to the lives we live, but reading comprehension is a big one. Listening skills is a big one. You probably wanted to look into that. Number 6, if you don't like the answer you got, call back and speak to someone else. This is like the worst because what happens is the more you call, the more you become a joke. Especially if, let me take that back. The more you call about the same thing that you've been told about millions of times before. So if you call with a particular issue, and I give you an answer, and you hang up and call back and ask the same question, and that person gives you an answer, you don't like it, and you call back and ask the same question, get someone else. More oftentimes than not, we've already looked up who you've talked to, and we've already talked to them, and now we're sharing with everybody else on the floor that you keep calling, and you're going to ask this question so that they're already prepared in how to deal with you. And now you become the call center joke, or you become the building joke, or you become the department store joke, because we expect you to come and we see you coming. So don't even, that's not, more oftentimes than not, we want to give you the right answer so you don't call back. That's the whole key, is to keep you from calling back multiple times, because every time you call, you cost the company money. So it would behoove us, if we want to keep our jobs, to answer your question the first time you call. So we really do try to do that. And we really do try to give you the best answer. I know a majority of customer service representatives do. There are those few that don't do their jobs. And you'll know. I mean, you know, when you talk to people and they're feeding you a bunch of crap, it's not difficult. But we do try to give you the best answer and the most accurate answer and the most accurate choices to follow by. So know that when you do call. And that takes me to number 5, that the customer is always right. This is like the worst misconception there is. More oftentimes than not, you're calling me because you don't know. So when I start to give you the answers, don't tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about, because I'm sitting here reading it. I have all the tools and resources made available to me to know everything about every single customer that has any interaction with my company at any time. So when you call me, I can take a look and see your history from since you've been a customer with us. And I can see every single phone call and every single interaction that you have made to where you are calling. And if you tell me one thing and I read another thing, then I'm going to know immediately that you're not a truthful person and that not to take you seriously. Not only that, but more oftentimes than not as a customer, and I am guilty of this too, even though I work in customer service, I'm guilty of not reading my contract. So when I call customer service, because customer service reps do call other customer service people because we do get services as well. So when I call, I say, I got this bill and I would like you to explain it to me. I don't call and say, I got this bill and this bill is wrong and you're going to fix it, which is what a majority of people do. Which takes me all the way to number 3, or number 4, is that you believe that customer service reps don't care about you. We do. We really do. We really care about you. We try to do our best to help you, as I explained before in the previous ones. But then what happens is you go to number 3, which is screaming like a lunatic and acting like you're crazy and trying to talk over and interrupting me and thinking that that's the best option to getting the resolution that you're going to get. And it's not. All it's going to get you to do is for us to put you on mute and to talk and laugh about you and tell our coworkers about what you're doing. And then they're going to laugh about you as well. And then what it does is it makes us want to not help you and do the bare minimum in helping you. It makes us not want to do as much for you. And we're going to do what our job just simply requires. If you call like a nice civilized person, then more oftentimes than not, we're going to go over and beyond and jump through hoops to resolve whatever issue that you have. And we're going to feel bad if we can't resolve it. And we're probably going to follow up. But if you're a crazy person and for some reason your call drops because you're on a cell phone service, believe me, I will not call you back. I don't want to talk to you. I won't look for you. I won't try to finish resolving your issue because I don't ever want to talk to you again, and I'm going to pray that as I spend time at this company, I will never talk to you again. So more oftentimes than not, after you've been screaming and hollering at us, the next thing you probably are going to want to do is ask to speak to a supervisor, which is probably the worst thing that you could ever do. Number 1, supervisors are busy. More oftentimes than not, there's one of us to resolve your issue. They have 30 of us to watch, and then you want to talk to them about your issue that we've already provided you the answers to. More oftentimes than not, when we call a supervisor, the reason why you're on hold is probably because we're explaining to the supervisor what a crazy person you are and the things that you've already said to us. So when you get on the phone and you talk to the supervisor and you tell them that we were just the worst and meanest person, remember that we've spent years at this company and probably years with this supervisor, and they know us and they know our character. So when you say things about us, they know that you're probably not telling the whole truth. And so you're probably not, they're probably not going to receive you that well. Not to mention, they don't care about you like we do. All they care about is the stats and the statistics and making sure the company runs the way it's supposed to run. So when you speak to them, you're losing a little bit of that care factor. You're losing a little bit of day-to-day knowledge because remember, they don't talk to customers every day, all day. We do. So we know the little ins and outs and the things that need to be done. They don't. So you're probably, although that they have higher power than we do, they probably don't have that day-to-day knowledge. More oftentimes than not, they're going to ask you to call them back, where they're going to call you back. They'll say they have to research it, and then 1 to 2 weeks call back, and you go by and you don't get a call back, and guess what? You're calling back now speaking to another customer service representative who's probably going to be able to resolve the issue in the same call, but you could have gotten it resolved if you wouldn't have called screaming and hollering before, and we would have answered your question. And lastly, number one, the number one biggest misconception is that if all else fails and we still don't give you what you want, that you just threaten to take your business elsewhere. Please, oh please, don't threaten me with a good time. Okay? Granted, I would love to see every customer stay with the company I work for and be happy, and I will do whatever within my means to help them. But if you are just not satisfied, then guess what? As a consumer, it is your obligation to discover what type of services and plans are going to work best for you, what type of options work best for you. So you should test and see the market. More oftentimes than not, if you work for an excellent company like the one I know I work for, you're probably going to leave, and within 5 months you'll be back. See it over and over and over again. And when you come back, you're going to be that nicer person. And I'm going to appreciate you a lot more. And you're going to get better services out of us after you leave and experience what it's like on the dark side. So again, this is Vanessa's rant. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you comment. Thank you for listening, and have a blessed day.